everybody. Welcome to the Nut Closure Show. Hope you're having a great Thursday today. Gorgeous day out here in Austin, Texas. Well, it's beautiful everywhere in the country for it. But today, we're extremely excited to have on as a guest, actually via remote, via satellite, coming live from Maryland is our good buddy Stacey Wall, who has done an amazing job over really the last 8 months of doing some great stuff out there. 9 months, Stacey?
Morning. Yep.
Good morning, sunshine. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. We saw you at the RIA last summer and got started in October.
That's exciting because what were your goals when you and Karen sat down? Do you guys have some goals for the first 12 months? Where did you guys kind of see yourselves?
We did. We gave ourselves a huge goal of 100 notes this year, which we kind of reevaluated that a little bit. We're shooting more in the 50 to 60 range. I think we'll hit that.
Right.
You got ambition.
Which was fine. We've got a goal for Karen to get out of her job in another probably about a year.
Yeah.
And most of the other little goals, we're making some headway.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about your background? Where did you come from, and what kind of turned the page for you diving in and out? So your background, what have you been doing the last 20, 30 before you decided you wanted to grow up and be a note investor?
Well, I was in retail for about 20, 25 years. Retail management. I do a lot of projects, set up a lot of stores, went in and fixed and renovated, turned buildings around. After a while, that gets to be a drag. A lot of travel. Even right before I retired, I was doing like an hour and a half traveling each way every day. It adds on to a long 12-hour day anyway. And from there, we were actually had been doing some flips and had gone through some training on that. And we were working on one when we met you and realized that flipping the note was a whole lot easier than flipping the house. So we kind of dived in. We finished our last flip in December and sold it. Did pretty well, but nevertheless was a lot of work. If you're not there every day, it doesn't happen. So
you get tired of being an adult babysitter there with contractors and everything, huh?
Oh, it was terrible. We ended up having to fire our last contractor, and I finished up a lot of it on my own. You don't have to do that anymore.
So that's one of the biggest things too. When we met there at the Hub City RIA, my field runs, you guys were doing some stuff, but you didn't, especially when we sat and talked a little bit, you guys didn't want to do the heavy fix and flips after a while because it just wasn't worth your time. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. And I wasn't looking to do, hundreds of fix and flips and try to orchestrate that. That was way too much work for this time in life. So, we went through your presentation and we're impressed with the process. I'm a process person. Karen's a process person. So it was just a matter of getting this process up and going.
Right. And you guys have, you dove in, came to Fast Track, started buying some notes immediately, joint venture with other people on a couple of deals and stuff like that. What has been probably your biggest aha moment over the last 9-10 months?
I would say that if you do what you're told, it actually works, and the advertising works, which neither Karen or I were into social media whatsoever. And, we kind of jumped in. We've done okay, I think. We're up to LinkedIn. I got like 3,300 followers or 300 connections. Facebook, we're at 1,600. YouTube, we're only about 120. Instagram, we're at 150. So we're making some headway, and it's actually working.
And you guys, there's so many variety of ways of doing things. What's probably been your three biggest things when it comes to your marketing that's helped you guys the most? First of all, what are the three things that you do on a regular basis?
Well, we definitely do our weekly talk, dining room table talks. We try to get that every week. Every now and then we skip a week, but yeah, pretty much every week. Followed by an email that rolls out a couple days afterwards. That's probably our biggest bang for our buck. Once we realized that we needed to get our LinkedIn number up high enough, and once we probably hit over about 1,500, 1,800 connections, the emails started getting us returns. So now every week when we send out an email, we probably get 5 or 6 calls of people who are looking to invest, which is great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are these come from people that are other real estate investors, or just friends or connections that have started following you?
Most people that we've connected on LinkedIn that are investors.
Nice.
They've gone and they've checked out either our website and our YouTube page, and then they figured out, okay, at least they seem to know what they're talking about. So we'll have a conversation.
Right. Right. But you guys, let's talk a little about your topics on your dinner table talks. What's some of the things that you guys talked about for those that haven't seen it? And we'll want to make sure and put your YouTube video on here or channel on here so people can follow you on there and check it out. But what's been kind of your outline of those talks?
Most of our talks have been about some sort of due diligence. All the different little things that we've kind of come across, the learning process. And actually, it's been great because it helps us reaffirm that we are on the right path. Because when we do the video, we go, oh yeah, okay, everything makes sense. It's working. And we're kind of relating what we're going. So
sharing your story as you're basically going through stuff like that. And Karen does, I mean, you guys have split those up pretty evenly now, or is it still Karen mostly doing most of those?
Karen's the writer and she likes to be on camera. So she does most of them. It's a 50-50 split in this organization. So she's got to pull her half.
There you go. And she's still very active. She still works a full-time job and then also teaches dance on the sidelines, correct? On spare time, right?
Yeah, she's doing her 60 hours a week on her other side.
Woo, woo. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You don't miss the travel in the 60 hours?
No. I realize that I really don't have to start working until 9 o'clock, and I can be done around 7 because a lot of West Coast connections. So.
Right. Exactly. You definitely networked in a variety of different things, and you guys have you've also attended a couple different events too, if I'm not correct, right?
We have. We went to the New Jersey
Distressed Mortgage Expo.
Yeah, that was good. We picked up a few connections there, which was fantastic. That was really kind of our first one that we jumped into, local. We are planning on going to your one down in Texas. I think you've got going, was it November?
That's not me, that's Eddie Speed, but no, that's a good one though to go to. I'll be at that one as well, yeah. Just
kind of, since everything seems to be hubbed in Texas, I figured it would be a good one to meet some of the folks that are in that area.
Yeah, it'll probably be 300, 400 people at that one in Dallas. It'll be a good one in November. I think it's the first weekend of November, like the 3rd, 4th, or the 4th and 5th. So yeah, that's a good one for everybody that are looking to get into it. And you guys, people that are watching this, you can sign up for that at notexpo.com. So it's a great one. And then are you coming out to California for the Distressed Mortgage Expo in September or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Now let's go through that, because you basically go to those events and then you collect business cards. Yep. And what do you do with those connections? You put them in your email list, you follow them on LinkedIn, Facebook. What are the things that you do with those connections?
Yeah, every connection that we make, we've been trying to link into LinkedIn, and we definitely put it into our weekly newsletter. Our mailing right now is almost a little over 7,000 when we add in all the asset managers. So again, it's been pretty good, and our people that are kicking us off, not too many, so that it's been pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you're going to have some people that unsubscribe out there. I think a lot of people get worried about that, and I looked at it as a benefit that, okay, thanks, I don't have to send an email to you anymore, right? It doesn't go against my monthly allotment of emails I can send out for my CRM tool.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting about a 16% open rate, so it's been pretty good.
That is really good, especially if you're doing it for longer than a couple months. It's phenomenal. You guys also have been sharing your personal adventures too on your social media. It's not all been business. And do you see kind of an influx with people commenting, liking that stuff that kind of come from the business side versus just your warm market?
We have a little bit. It's been more of our regular emails that seem to generate more, but yeah, we're getting more people picking up and adding, I think, from some of our little adventures.
Nice. And how much in private money do you think you guys have raised from your emails that you sent out?
We're probably sitting on probably a little over $1 million.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. And how many total emails do you think you sent out from your CRM, from like MailChimp or stuff like that? Because you've done it not quite on a weekly basis, but pretty close.
Pretty close. We've probably sent out probably 40,
Yeah.
45 emails. And we always make sure we duplicate to whoever didn't open. So we're pretty consistent on that.
You guys are so coachable. That's the beautiful thing.
We told you we would be.
Right? No, I totally did. Totally did. One of the great things too is, besides, I mean, you guys take in, you listen, and you really are implementing little things. You guys have always been really good about implementing things, whether it was a social media challenge, like the content spider that we did a few months ago, or even the Instagram challenge we put out on June 30th. That's now into its third week, and you guys is any influx in that? Noticed, especially when you're in Toronto, going to the ball games and all the good stuff there, of using some great tags out there in your Instagram accounts as well.
Yeah, it was great. I only had to work, a couple of hours a day to keep everything running, and then the rest of the time I went out and played.
Right. Now let's move a little bit to your business side, and anybody that's watching this on Facebook, feel free to ask a question on the comments. I got Nicole and Jennifer here watching that. So if you guys have a question for Stacey, now's a good time to start posting those onto Facebook. We'll go back and try to hit them up as best as we can. But let's talk about your business model. So you obviously retired.
Yes.
Worked for so many years for Bed Bath & Beyond. Now you're at the Beyond stage of that.
Correct.
What's been your content class that you like to target when we talk about that real fast? What kind of has been your philosophy of that?
Well, we've been going after currently the how I guess I put it. We want assets that are occupied. We are in 6 different states: Alabama, Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Delaware, and Pennsylvania at the moment. And we're looking at assets that are generally under 75,000 at the moment. We're starting to move up now as we've gotten a little bit more dollars to spend. We're trying to get modifications where we can. It's been a little bit challenging on some of those.
So before we got a little hiccup here, you were kind of going into that you guys were targeting owner-occupied assets. Is that correct?
Yes, owner-occupied. We're generally around under 70,000 right now in value. We've been pretty steady buying, 3 or 4 a month and moving along.
Perfect. So owner-occupied, $70,000 valued assets where they're underwater, where they owe more than 70.
Right.
Any specific geographic areas?
Right now, we're in Alabama, Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Delaware, and PA.
Okay.
So at least at the moment.
Right. And you using your own funds to fund these deals, and bringing in private money afterwards, or bringing in private money on the front end, or a combination?
It's starting to be a combination, but most of it we've purchased the note, and then we get an investor to come in and take over the dollars, kind of putting our money back in so we can buy the next group.
Basically arbitraging your own funds out. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And let's talk about some of the deal flow you've done. Because you bought notes and contract for deeds both? Is that correct?
No, we've only bought notes so far.
But that's okay. So you've just been buying non-performing notes, no contract for deeds. That's what you just said, correct?
No, not yet.
What is it? Because you've been finding enough notes that you've been buying from?
We have been. I've actually just started looking at the contract for deeds, and we're trying to settle in and see what we want to do with that. But yeah, we'll go down that path.
Okay. And then are you buying from hedge funds, other investors, direct from banks?
I've gotten a couple of connections direct from banks, and I've got about 4 hedge funds that have been giving me tapes on a regular basis.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Now, you're developing more bank contacts by following up with asset emails out to the asset managers once a month as well too, or no?
Correct. I had originally hooked up with Dispress Pro and pulled a bunch of information from them, along with the Texas Banker listing, which has been huge.
Right.
And through that, I've been calling X amount per week, and it's turning around. It's coming up.
Just takes a little time, build a little momentum to get rock and rolling.
Yep. So I've got a goal. I try to hit at least 50 a week, and just keep rolling it.
Nice. Yeah, 50 a week, and just following up with people and not pretty. I mean, you've got basically, if you go back to what we've talked about, you send emails out basically weekly. You follow up with a video, table talk on due diligence or assets you're working through pretty regularly.
Yep.
All right. You're following up with phone calls to asset managers and bankers. What else are you doing? Or is that basically just pretty much that's your nuts and bolts for the most part?
That pretty much is bringing in enough flow right now.
Yeah.
And really, I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to figure everything out to work myself through some of these so that now I'm more comfortable. We'll start kicking it up a bit.
Right.
You know, Adam was, a great help in helping us get our pipe drive up and running, which has saved me a ton of time now.
Yeah.
So now I'm able to do a lot more, which has been great.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. You've hit that 20 to 25 asset kind of glass ceiling a little bit.
Yep.
I think you probably feel it. Like, okay, I got enough to do. You really either got to bring in a system like Podio, or you've got to hire an assistant to kind of help you take it to that next level. Is that where you're kind of feeling?
We're not quite there yet, but we're probably another 10 or so, and then we'll be there.
So the key then now is for you to probably bring on a part-time assistant for 10 hours a week or so, just to help you out and help you with the transition on some of the things. You know what I mean?
Yes, probably true. Yep.
I know I'm true.
I've done enough of that management piece. I know when it'll be ready. It's soon.
Right. Nicole, we have any questions?
Yes, we actually do. Brian William, I'm not sure who he's directed to, but I'm going to say it to both y'all. When someone says they've raised over $1 million, is this just a verbal commitment or a proof of funds in PDF, or how does that work?
That's a great question, Brian. So with the people you've talked to via your emails, are they virtual pledges? They've sent pledge letters? They've sent proof of fund letters to you? Where do you consider that at, Stacey?
Basically, what I do is once they contact me, is I give them a call. I make sure that there's somebody I'm interested in working with,
right?
And we get along. If we don't get along, sorry, I don't have time for that. So once that happens, I get them to send me a commitment letter. And then they also send me a letter of what they're looking for, what they want to spend. I send them a copy of what I'm doing, a DNA, and I send them a copy of my contract to make sure that there's no surprises. Right. And on the contract, if we need to tweak something here or there, if it makes sense, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's perfect. You're not just taking verbal and say, "Oh, I raised $1 million." You're literally going
on paper
down the road there for you. That's good. Good stuff there. What are the questions we got, Nicole?
That's it.
That's it for Brian. Okay, that's it. Wow, funny. All right. So, bike homes. Yeah, I see the the flashing light in the back, the beer sign. All right.
I like that.
Oh,
I really like it.
Well, yeah, you don't know what that's Fat Tire Amber.
Fat Tire, absolutely.
So why bike homes? Tell them a little about bike homes.
Bike homes came up with basically, Karen and I got married about 5 years ago. And the one thing that we kind of sort of had in common is she liked to run. I liked to bike. And unfortunately, her knees were really bad. So I got her into the biking thing. So we spend a lot of our free time biking. Yeah. So it's an interest of ours that gets us hooked together, which is great. And we get to spend a lot of time doing that together.
Yeah, that's great. I love seeing the photos, you guys. She's also been doing some of the virtual races from Yes Fit and stuff like that too, which is phenomenal. That's great to have that. Now, that's the thing. You guys are basically you're both on marriage number 2, right? The final one. You had your starter one, figured out what you didn't want. Now you know exactly what you want, right?
We're on the third time is the charm, each of us.
Sometimes the charm. Good stuff. And you guys get ready to head down to Key West here next week. Is that right? For about a day?
We're going down to Key West before we go to the mastermind group, and then we're off to Daytona actually for day 2.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we're bouncing around.
Just a little bit of travel.
Check out a couple of properties while around there. That way we can, make sure we take care of the bills.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Now, initially, let's talk about a couple things. When you were first starting doing some social media marketing, did it come easy for you, Stacey?
No, not at all. That's been the biggest challenge, I would say, more than buying the notes.
Why is that? Just taking time to figure things out? Because can we say what Karen does, or Karen was kind of against having social media profiles? Is that correct?
Yeah, Karen's got a pretty high government clearance. So part of that is you're not allowed to have a Facebook or social media presence. But yeah, so because of that, everything has been under either Bike Homes or under me.
Right.
But part of it is we're both pretty private.
Yeah.
And letting people into our world has been a challenge.
Right. I will tell you a little story about Carrie and Stacey. Great people. When I was out speaking to the Hubria, you guys are one of the first ones to arrive at the meeting.
Yep.
And they have a networking thing. Everybody's out there kind of drinking beer in the lobby of the hotel. You got the meeting room. Carrie and Stacey were like some of the first ones, and they sat in the front row and didn't really talk to anybody. Am I right? Am I wrong on that one?
That's correct.
But you've gotten out your side of your shell a little bit, though, more so, and our networking more and doing a great job at it. Is that right?
No, it's good. And we actually do sit in the back of the RIA, and we let people know we've got deals, and people come up to us, and we've gotten some funding that way too.
I love it. I love it. I can give you a big hug. About bike homes, you talk about bike homes. That's right. So let's settle back into social media. So you started a Facebook page, or did you start an Instagram account, or did you start you had a LinkedIn profile already, correct or no?
No, I had absolutely nothing. So we started with the LinkedIn first, got that rolling. Then we added Facebook, and then we've just added a Facebook business page because they kind of tried to kick us off the regular Facebook because we were using Bike Homes. And then we started the Instagram not that long after, along with our YouTube channel.
Now, one of the great things, you leverage the Basecamp groups to kind of help you get enough likes on your YouTube page so that you have a customized YouTube page, right?
We did.
Yep, yeah. We went out and asked everybody to go in and hook us up, and they did.
Yeah, but you get what you asked for, right? You leveraged the Basecamp groups that we use through the virtual workshops, through the Note Camp, or other things like that to really network with other people, and it paid off and bonkers there for you. What's been your favorite real estate deal on the Note side so far? You got a deal that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them that have been have gone a little haywire, I guess we would say.
Okay.
I had our first Note that we purchased in Canton, Ohio. We went into it knowing that it was probably going to be a tax sale, and they would let the county foreclose basically for us, and we can go in and take it over. Everything was working out just fine. The day of the sale, apparently the law firm that we're using didn't realize that the time had changed. And the time had gone, instead of it normally being at 10 o'clock, it was now being done at 9. And luckily nobody bid on it. So we kind of snuck through that one and picked it up on the next month and did end up taking it over. And now it'll be an REO in the next month or so. As soon as
what did you pay for the Note?
We only paid $8,000 for it. So with taxes and everything, we're into it for right around 20. It's got a $40,000 value. So as an REO, it'll be fine. We'll probably sell it for about 35 and get out of it.
Cool.
And then the other one that we had was actually down in South Carolina. In between the timing of the paperwork being transferred over to us and the lawyers getting everything right, it had actually gone to tax sale.
Okay.
And although we were listed as being the owner of the mortgage, because in North Carolina things work a little different, we were kind of cut out of it. So we were actually lucky enough to realize it within the 10-day period that you have to do an upset bid.
Yeah.
So it actually took us 4 upset bids to end up holding the property. So we didn't lose our initial funding.
So what's an upset bid? Explain that.
Basically, the upset bid is if you have a reason to bid on the property. So because we were the bank, we had the ability to put in an upset bid. Somebody else had come in, put in a bid at the auction or at the sale. And there's only apparently a few different ways you can add an upset bid to it. Because we were the bank, we were able to do that. So we had to put a bid in. You had 10 days after each bid that somebody else could go in and bid. So it took us, like I said, 4 times to get that done. It cost us another 18 grand. We had 11 into it already, but the property's worth about 75.
Oh, so you're into it for 29 then.
Exactly. So we're still looking at a good 40-50% return on that. So
nice.
Not an issue.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's not bad at all. Is that one occupied? Are both these occupied or vacant or?
Both of them actually are. The one in Canton is occupied. The owner would not respond to anything, so we're going to evict her out. Mm-hmm. And then the one in North Carolina, there is one person. It actually ended up being it's a small 4-unit complex. So there's one person left in there. So we'll find out whether they want to stay and continue on. but we'll take it over and we'll sell it. We're not going to keep it.
All right, I can get moved on. Now, your biggest goal has been to try to get some things modified though too. Out of the 25 that you've got, how many of those do you foresee that are going to end up being reperformed? Do you have any of those that have turned into reperformers for you or no?
We've got 3 of them that should come through within the next week or so.
Nice.
It's been a challenge. I think our error has been not sending foreclosure information ahead of time. That's something I've been talking with our lawyers. We've been using Daniel a lot and trying to get a foreclosure letter out kind of maybe a couple of weeks. And I heard 3 weeks into it that we could do that. So that's something
Right.
we didn't do, which we will be doing going forward. That was one of our errors.
Right. Instead of waiting for the bar to make a decision, you're forcing the decision of some sort.
Right.
Smart.
Yeah. I've got one in Alabama where the ladies kind of dragged us on for a while. So now it's like, forget it. We're going to foreclose, and I'm sure she'll come around and pay it, but it's going to take that to make it happen.
You're done being nice.
Yep.
Brian William asked again, he said, what level of coaching or mentoring is Stacey in?
What level of well, Stacey and Karen, they first went through the virtual workshop. I've been through that 2 or 3 times, right, Stacey?
Yeah, I've gone through a couple of times.
And then they came through the fast track training in when? October,
November, whatever that one was.
Yeah, so October, November, they came in and spent 3 days here in Austin at the fast track, and they're part of the mastermind group.
Yep.
And you want to tell everyone how many deals that you've done, of people that have like joined just now and didn't catch the beginning?
We've got 25 notes right now, and we've got 8 JV deals that we've done with others.
So there's 33 total deals, or
I don't really count the JV deals. Those are investments.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense. Okay, nice stuff. Yeah, we got a couple working for you.
Yep.
We've got that one deal too that we're finishing the foreclosure on for you that we can then smack that hedge fund out of California in the face.
All right, cool.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What was that, Jen? Or no? Nothing? You're trying to stay awake over there?
My coffee's not kicking in.
Coffee's not kicking in. Coffee's for closers, baby. And Stacey's a closer out there.
Although you did make my ears hurt whenever you were talking about a hedge fund in California.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. We want to fly out there and smack them around. That's okay. That happens. Now, let's talk a little bit. When you guys, why don't we talk about the masterminds coming a little bit? Because you guys have been to, what, 3 now?
2. This will be our third one.
What was your biggest aha moment about the mastermind when you finally came?
I think it was talking with everybody who was succeeding and why they were succeeding. That was the big thing that we were looking for, is a little bit of confirmation on what we learned to make sure we were going down the right path.
Right.
I think that and the ability to call people for help when you struggle, and that's been more than worth the money.
Right.
By far.
I think that's the biggest thing that some people don't realize is it's just the network is what it all comes down to. It's nice. Look, I've been a part of different masterminds out there, and some people are doing different things, but when you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 people that are all doing similar things that you're doing, and you can pick up the phone and call them, like Adam, having them help you, walk you through setting up pipe drive, or reaching out to Kimberly, or reaching out to Jay and picking his brain on foreclosures of bankruptcies. It's just huge. It's something that we leverage every day. I know that you do just weekly as well with different deals that are going on.
Everybody's been very, very helpful. It's been great environment.
Right. Now, you originally wanted to do 100 deals your first year. You're like, oh, wait, we got to pull that number back a little bit. Now that you're coming up on here, basically 9 months, 10 months, what's your goal for the next 12? I mean, when you hit that your 1 year anniversary, you want to be closer to 40, 50, you said.
Right.
50, 60. Are you looking for triple digits in the second year, year 2?
Probably next year we'll be happy between 85 and 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very feasible for you. And Karen will be happy to leave her high clearance job at that point. Is she ready to roll?
She loves what she does.
Yeah.
So within the next year, maybe 2 years for her, it all depends. She's on a contract, I think, for another 3 years.
Okay.
So somewhere in that range, yeah, she'll be ready.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with enjoying and doing something you enjoy doing. That's a good thing, right? And you guys work so well together as a couple and a supportive husband and wife and spouse. And she jumps in when she can to help out with the videos that she enjoys and a little bit more comfortable. And you're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and really being the main piston, I guess, or the main wheel that's driving, main wheel in the bike that's driving everything.
Right, that's true. Very true.
Christina Fuller has a question.
Okay.
She says, how much have you guys been outsourcing now, Stacey?
Oh, that's a good question. So outsourcing, are you outsourcing due diligence or outsourcing marketing? Or are you still doing most of the stuff in-house yourself?
We're still doing pretty much all of it in-house. I mean,
Okay.
every now and then I'll have a couple of things run on Tape Tech or something like that, just to, you know, if I don't have time. But usually right now, because I'm pretty well organized, I'm able to get it all knocked out myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the beautiful thing about when you have systems in place. It's easy for you
Right.
to do.
Yep.
And you getting the regular tapes, you're just basically cutting down what you're not interested in, and then just focusing on the assets that you want to. And it doesn't take long to do due diligence on specific assets. Can we agree to that?
I agree. Absolutely. I mean, knock it out pretty quick.
So pretty quick. We talking 3 hours, an hour, 20, 30 minutes? How much are we talking?
I would say if you get a tape of 50 and I might cut it down to 10, then I can do the due diligence on that in a couple of hours.
Right. And that's one thing I want everybody to hear that's listening out there. A lot of people, I've gotten people like, oh, I can't make bids on your deals or your tapes that you're offering up because I don't have the time. You know, I work full time, and I can understand that. But if you cut in the time at night, you know, you can knock out 20, 30 minutes. You can knock out an asset or two full due diligence in that time, just, excluding drive-bys for the most
Right.
part.
Yep.
Those are things that you can be doing constantly while you're waiting for your bids to come accepted or get countered.
My favorite is when they have placed the bid and they haven't done any due diligence.
Yeah, I know. That's the biggest thing.
It's so cute syndrome.
Oh yeah. When they look online, oh, that's a cute house. I've been on that without doing anything.
Yeah, we just give you the Google images. It's not what it really looks like half the time.
What has also been, what would you say is different about yourself in the last 9 months, Stacey? What's been the biggest thing?
I'm on social media.
You're a little bit more, I mean, and this is not in a negative fashion. Would you say you're more introverted than extroverted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Very numbers oriented. Nicole's raising her hand over here too. Yeah. But you've been able to be extroverted to a point that makes it comfortable for you now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I've always been able to talk to people if there's a reason to do it. I don't generate the reason, but if there is one, I will partake.
But have you guys been using like the form method of when you're out networking? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yes. Yeah. It's a system.
It is a system, and the only way to get better is to practice that on a regular basis.
Right.
I think we both agree to that, right?
Yes.
And you guys are doing that. That's the thing is you guys, and everybody loves your videos. Everybody, oh, that was a great video. The great video. We see it here in the office is the staff. If I'm out a day or two, like I've been out the last couple of days laid up, and I come in and the staff, oh, did you see this video? Did you see this video from?
Did you see this email?
Did you see this email? I'm like, I did now.
Y'all are doing so good for being like so reserved. So I think y'all have like been one of the fewer mastermind students that have just like surpassed all of mine, like just
expectations.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. The things that you're doing are not difficult things. I mean, they are initially difficult when you're setting things up and trying to figure it out. But as long as you keep practicing it and doing it, you get much better at it than.
Right.
I mean, it's the thing. You do 10% more than anybody else. You stand out from the crowd. I think you would agree to that,
Yeah,
right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
We have a suggestion for a video. Christina Fuller says it would be a great video to see your basic day-to-day doings in your business.
A day in the life of an investor.
That'd be cool. I think it'd be really neat to see how, like, a time lapse of how you break down tapes and how you do your due diligence and stuff like that. I think it'd be pretty cool.
We could do that.
We could figure something out.
Yeah.
We'll get figure
If
something.
Karen can write it, we can do it.
If Karen can write, you can do it. That's right. Exactly. We could figure something out like that too. We could do like 7 videos throughout the day and then all smash it all together. Huh?
We should record that.
Don't know where to record it. Parental lyrics.
We might do
TVMA.
this.
I walked in this morning. They were deliriously looking at spreadsheets the last couple of days, looking at and tracking down IRA investors. Now, are you using any local IRA investors in your area? You guys have a list there that you got from me as well. Have you had any success with that?
We have a list. We've been doing regular mailings. We drop our emails to them also. We've only gotten maybe one response off of it so far, but we keep plugging away. Until they turn us off on our emails, they're still
Right.
interested. So it's just a matter of time.
Now that one contact, are they one of the only people that have proofed up with funds for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, how much?
Yeah. It was only 50 grand, but hey, that's an asset.
Only 50 grand.
Oh, it's just pocket change.
Just pocket change. Just pocket change. Just a couple notes. You get fun with
Walking
that.
around money.
But that's well worth the time. How
Yeah.
much? Because you sent out emails, and then how much in direct mail have you sent out to that list?
To that list, we've probably hit them 4 or 5 times. We try not to be too overly aggressive on that side.
Right.
So we're mailing about once every 3 weeks on the current campaign, and we'll go back and hit it again.
Okay. Cool. That's great stuff. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing such a great job.
They really are.
You can teach some people how to do this. You know what?
Mastermind.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we're going to do as well. I haven't sent it out to everybody. Is talking about growth, because we have quite a few new people coming this time around. This mastermind is having like Stacey and some of the others out there literally share a little bit. Okay, here's where we started at, and here's where we're at now. We're the flash forward 9 months, 12
I
months.
think it puts it in a little bit better perspective for especially the new people. It's not so overwhelming because
Right.
they see that, they started off as an actual person just like you. And it's recent. It's not someone that is like way up there.
Not like Waste now, who's on like 300 deals. Like they have something that's chewable at 25 deals.
Right.
25
I totally agree with that. Versus them just hearing it from me, like, okay, it's just Scott talking. We're going to tune Scott out and hearing it from somebody like Stacey or
And I
Karen.
think the case studies really put things in perspective.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Stacey, I want you to put together a couple of your case studies, and we'll actually target those and share that at the next mastermind. Because one of the things that we love doing is taking closed deals or case studies and sharing that with the groups and having everybody at the mastermind literally fake bid on these assets. And then we tell them, okay, what's the story behind the story? What did the actual final bid was at? What was the winning bid? And then what was the story behind the story? What did happen? Did it take a tax sale? Did it take a modification? Those kind of things.
That blew people's minds at
Yeah.
the mastermind.
Yeah, but we'll do quite a bit of that again here. Can you put a couple together, Stacey?
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome. You don't have to ask Karen to do that. I know you can do that, brother, right? What do you think? What do you think Karen would say has been the biggest aha?
I think the biggest thing, well, again, the social media has been big, but the fact that doing our process is actually paying off.
Processes and doing things on a regular basis pay off, right?
Because, before we got into this and we were on the fix and flip side, we did the education, paid a lot more for it. And, we went through the process, but it didn't work. It's just not available.
What do you mean it didn't work? There's just not that amount of deals, or that there's demand was so high and supply was low on the fix and flip side, or what?
Yeah, in our local area, it's crazy. People are paying full retail to do a flip. And I know perfectly well that, they're not making any money on it. We've got a lot of people around here that are they'll fix it, they'll flip it, and then they sit on it because they've made no money. So now they're waiting for the market to change. It's going to be a long time.
That's a very dangerous position to be in.
Yep.
Very dangerous. Have you started to see more people at the RIAs start to turn to the dark side of notes when you're talking about your deals that you're going through?
I have. I think we've actually sent 1 or 2 off your way for the last couple of them that we've talked to. And the last event we went to, we were in a different event in Florida. And we picked up, I think, 2 people there that are interested that have called us a couple of times.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I got to get you affiliate code. Any other questions from people out there? All right, well, cool. So if you could share one nugget with the people out there watching that are struggling, either notes or struggling as real estate investors, what's one bit of advice that you would give them, Cody? I mean, not Cody, Stacey.
I would say the biggest thing, which is what was in our last email, is you've got to be comfortable with not being comfortable. You've got to do the things that, get you where you want to go. I think going through the process, following it up, whether you like it or not, if you get it done, it gets easier and then it works.
Stacey, you want to share your email with people so they can email you if they have investment opportunities?
Sure, it'd be Stacey@bikehomes.com.
Perfect.
Stacey at Bike Homes. I was going to add that in there too for
Yeah.
as well there for you. And you post their website and
Yeah.
Facebook, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
social media stuff, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Good stuff on there. What was I going to say? So what, next 90 days, what's your goals for the next 90 days?
Next 90 days is we've got a little bit of travel going on, so we're going to enjoy life a little bit. But I think we will have knocked out probably another 10 or 15 notes, and then closed up another 7. I think I should be able to close them up in the next 30 to 60 days.
There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, hey, I want to say thanks for taking time on your Thursday to join us and share kind of your business model and your wins and your struggles as well along the way. Before we wrap up, let's talk about that. What's still your biggest struggle? What would you say your biggest struggle is that you've seen?
Probably making sure the value is there in the property.
Okay.
I would say that's my biggest problem, because I know a lot of, some of the hedge funds, and they put numbers down and they have their BPO from their favorite company. So I've actually started the process of, we usually take about 15% off of that number and use that as our working number to work from. And then if that works, then we're usually okay.
That's probably a
building up
really
that
good
process. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good little suggestion there. Let's talk about that, because I think we'll all agree that hedge funds will, and we've even seen it in some of the stuff we've seen where they've got 3 or 4 BPOs pulled and they just go with the highest one without removing the other BPOs for the due diligence files, which makes
Right.
you want to say, what kind of crack are you smoking over there, right?
Yep.
And so you're taking 15% of the value off, which gives you a little bit of fudge factor, and then of course giving realtors to confirm that. Is that correct too? Has that been
Yes.
difficult?
Yeah, either realtor or having We Go Look drive by and get some real pictures, and those are very helpful.
Right.
A little more expensive, but helpful.
Yeah, so those that don't know, We Go Look. Well, let's talk about them a little bit. What do they do, Stacey?
We Go Look will go out. They'll do a lot of different things, but the way we use them is they'll go out and take about 10 photos of the property, and they're current photos, so you have a better idea. And then from there, you can kind of make a judgment call. Oftentimes, they're pretty aggressive. I had one that was peeping in the windows, apparently, and the police showed up. They actually called me to find out that he was working for me.
Was it an occupied asset at that point?
It wasn't supposed to be, but apparently so.
Supposed to be.
So that was one. And then the other thing that we always do is I pull 2 BPOs once we've gotten the bid in, to make sure that we're really in the right ballpark.
So are you paying for 2 BPOs for companies, or are you from 2 different realtors?
Sometimes realtors, if I can find them, and I try to get 1 BPO run, so I've got something in paper.
That works for your due diligence and providing that for funding and joint venture partnerships as well.
Yeah, I'd rather spend a little bit more on the front side and then not get burned on the back end.
I think that's a great insurance policy as well for you there. Speaking of, so are you using a specific insurance company? Because you have assets in multiple states.
I do, actually. I'm with JB Lloyd.
JB Lloyd's, okay?
Yes, they've been doing a great job. Very easy. Cost is great because we can kind of pick what we want to cover it for. Do it all online. It's been super.
Great. And then who are you using for your BPOs? What company?
I use Sandcastle sometimes, and Black Knight, and a couple others.
Cool. Could you do me a favor when you get off of this? Can you go ahead and post that information, your insurances, and then those BPO companies in the comments as well for us?
Sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Any other final questions from anybody out there in Facebook Live land for Mr. Walls here as he's rocking it? He's got his notes to the walls, rocking and rolling. That's
Brian Williams, he says he's a realtor, and I think he's in Southern California. So I guess if y'all need a realtor, hit Brian Williams up. If we were buying anything in Southern California, I would agree with Brian, but we just don't buy a lot of stuff out in Southern California. It's just overpriced and too expensive. The banks want too much for it. Plus, it's a much better ROI when you can leverage your money over across 10 assets versus 1 asset. So I appreciate that, Brian. Drop me a message and maybe we can see. Maybe you need to start investing in notes in other areas versus just being a realtor. So, but anyway, I think that's all, bud. I think you covered a lot of great nuggets this morning. We're very proud of you. I know a lot of people in Mastermind are so excited at what you and Karen are doing and the growth and seeing you guys evolve and really add new layers to yourself. You guys walk with a little bit different step in your bounce when we see it, which is a good thing.
you're kind of the quiet, deadly assassin, which is pretty good. Pretty good. People don't see it coming, which is sometimes a good thing, right?
Sometimes that's true.
Exactly. So thanks for joining us here on the Note Closer Show, bud. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in like 2 weeks. It's hard to believe that, right?
Yep. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I appreciate everything you've done for us.
Hey, no problem. It's easy when you guys are coachable like you guys are. So, all right, everybody. That's great. If you get an opportunity, if you're watching out there, make sure to go back and check out their links below, their websites and all the other vendors that we've discussed that Stacey and Karen are using and other people we talked about. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully these have been helpful. Apologize, I've been out of the office the last couple of days, but we'll be rock and rolling a lot next week as well. As actually, we'll be doing a couple of these from Nashville. So hope you all take care and have a great weekend. We won't do one tomorrow because we do a fast track tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, where we've got 7 note investors coming and spend 3 days with me and really get their note business rocking. So we're looking forward to seeing those people. I've seen some of those that popped up in the comments, like Lisa and Frank and stuff like that. So, but otherwise, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you all at the top.